I'm a pastor, an artist, an author, a scholar, and a conversation. Welcome to Chatfest with Kenneth. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chatfest with Kenneth. And my guest today is a fashion designer in France. So, without much ado, here's welcoming Tonye. And here we are with my guest. Her name is Tonye. How would you call yourself what's your formal name?
My formal name is Tonye Aka.
Tonye Aka. So as a fashion house, what's your house known as?
It's Tonye's Fashion. That's the
Tonye
name of my
Fashion.
fashion house, yes.
Well, welcome Tonye Fashion, aka Tonye Aka, aka Tonye Fashion.
Okay, thank you for receiving me.
And how are you?
I'm fine, doing well.
Okay,
And
so
you?
I'm doing great.
Okay.
Where are you located in France?
I'm in the south of France. I'm in a city called Toulouse. Toulouse is it's in the south. It's a very modern city full of universities,
Okay.
and it's a city where we make the Airbus. I don't know if you, the Airbus is actually made in Toulouse. So it's a beautiful city, very
Oh,
sunny.
okay.
Yeah,
Is it
we
south
have
of
big
France?
winters. Yeah, in the
South
south.
of France is supposed to be luxurious, rich, and all that, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's not Cannes.
Okay, okay, it's not Canaan.
It's not
That's what
Cannes.
I'm thinking of when I hear south of France.
Yeah, most
Oh,
people
okay.
most people think Cannes, Nice, and all that. No, it's not. We're actually about 4 hours away from Cannes and Nice. But we're in the southwest of France. So
Okay, so would it be okay if so technically you are a fashion designer?
yeah, that's what I am. I'm a
Okay,
fashion designer. I've been designing for 8 years now. You know, my fashion house has I founded it in 2012.
oh, okay. So, um, just so I'm trying to understand. So you have your fashion house. Is it a boutique, or are you designing and then sending your products to different outlets or stores? How is that working?
Well, I have a physical boutique. That means like
Okay,
I have a place where I produce my work and where I display my work as well. So
okay,
I have a boutique where I receive people, people coming in for orders, bespoke orders, and they're coming to buy my ready to wear collections as well.
okay. So you
Yeah.
participate in Fashion Week.
Yeah, I actually participated in the last Toulouse Fashion Week. This was in October. You know,
Okay,
yeah, we had the Fashion Week. Yeah, I participate in fashion shows all over Europe. I've even
okay.
gone up to Zurich to participate in an African fashion festival. And I do photo shoots, done photo shoots here in France, a lot of photo shoots. I've done some in Nigeria and in London as well.
And how um did COVID affect your fashion, your business?
It did. It actually did. COVID. None of us expected it to have the kind of impact it did. We thought it was just going to be like, okay, a virus, a little thing, and after maybe a few weeks, things will go back to normal. But that didn't happen. And in France, the rules were very, very strict.
Yeah, we
Uh,
heard about it.
yeah, it affected the all the events, big events, weddings, 80% of the weddings were all cancelled.
Wow.
Yeah, and my fashion house actually caters to brides because I do bridals as well. And I do cottage, that is all the people who follow the bride's
Okay,
family and all
okay,
that. Yeah,
okay.
it was a big blow.
Wow, wow.
It was a big blow
But
to
you
that
survived.
part of
But you're surviving.
yeah, yeah, I actually survived. And well, I can say COVID, we can't ever call it a situation of crisis a blessing,
Uh-huh.
but I think in life we should learn how to take the positive out of any negative situation.
True.
And in my case, the period of the crisis, because here in France is still going on.
Mm-hmm.
We still have restrictions, lockdowns from now and then, and curfews. You can't go out after 8 o'clock. Restaurants are still closed. Bars are still closed. So we're still in the middle of it. We haven't come out of it yet. Um, but during this period, I was able to take time out to look inwards, and see other ways to develop my business, and not only count on physical encounters.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I actually used the period to excuse me, to look at other resources, how to better work on the social media,
Okay, okay,
how to use the tools that I have on my website, so video editing tools and email campaigning tools and all
okay.
that. So
Wow.
yeah, so I was able to take time out to do that. This is time that I couldn't afford to have
That is
before
true.
before
That is
the
true.
crisis. So yeah, for me, yeah, we've had ups and downs, but and globally, it's been good, positive for me.
That's good. So would you say you always wanted to be is this something you always wanted to be?
A fashion designer.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, when I started out in life, I wanted to be a doctor, a medical doctor.
Okay.
So, so
How did you segue in here? How did you segue into being a fashion designer?
well, okay, I'm going to tell you my story. I'm going to tell you my story briefly because
Okay.
it's a long story.
Yeah,
So
let's abridge it.
yes, I'm going to make it short. So anyway, so I wanted to be a doctor. So in Nigeria, to go into medical school, you have to write this preliminary exam that gives you a right to the JAM exam, and
Okay.
you need to have a certain level of score to be able to
Mm-hmm.
qualify to go into med school. So I tried it once, twice, it didn't work. So I studied biochemistry. So I'm a biochemist.
Okay.
But before all that, I actually grew up in a home where my mother always used to sew, not for the public, but just for our personal use.
Okay.
So there's always been a machine around the house, So I think as early as 8 or 9, I started, dabbling into clothes, cutting old clothes to make new ones. I think I started upcycling right even before it became the in thing, when you use old things to make new things, it's called upcycling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I started it way back then. And all through my years in the university when I was studying biochemistry, I always had my sewing machine with me.
Oh,
In
really?
Yeah, in the hostel.
It
I
was
went to
like a
visit
little
my
hobby for
cousin.
you to sew.
It was my hobby, actually. I knew that I just liked to do it. But in a Nigerian family, coming from a Nigerian background, these studies are very important. You need your
Yes.
degree. You need, sewing is not it's like a hobby. You don't make
So
it
you
a
used to
career.
alter, so you used to alter like clothes, or did you like improve on the clothes, or what did you do?
I improved, altered, and I made new clothes. I
Okay.
actually, all through my university years, all the new clothes I had on were made by me, but people didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I even made clothes for my cousins. Felicia and all that.
Belimo Harrisco.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, oh, we have an outing. What are we going to wear? Ah, chop, 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 you know.
So you now relocated to France.
Yes, I relocated to France sometime in my life, about 20 some years ago. I
Okay.
came to France, and you know how it is when you change countries. You can't really work in the same field. Well,
Uh-huh.
like Africans, you know how it is. You have a degree, you have a work experience, but you have to start somewhere,
You have to
and
start from ground zero sometimes.
you have to start from ground zero. And I did all those jobs:
Okay.
cleaning, working as auxiliary nurse. I did
Basically, you were
all that.
paying your dues.
I was paying my dues, darling. I was. That's true. Anyways, but my story is a little bit different from other stories in the sense that even as a black woman in France, I got into the hospitality business. I started as a cleaner, but by the
Okay.
time I finished my career in the hospitality business, I had grown to the level of a general manager.
Okay.
So I actually paid my dues. I had to work very, very hard, and I'm proud to say that it's possible, to excel even in hostile waters, like they say.
In
You-
hostile waters. That's a very that's a pregnant statement.
No, but it's possible. And I use my story to encourage people. I tell people, don't sit and say, okay, I'm black, everybody hates me. No, nobody hates you. You need to prove what you can do, and improve yourself. Learn
And
new
even when things
skills.
are not perfectly aligned to work for you, make it work for you because life is
Exactly.
not going to bring a red carpet in front of your
No, it
doorstep.
won't. It won't. Absolutely. It won't. So just be the best person that you can be wherever you find yourself and improve yourself.
Okay.
Learn new skills. The government in France likes people to get trainings.
Okay.
So they have special training programs for every level of life. You can learn all through your life. And today I'm still learning. I'm a fashion designer. I have a certification as a trainer because the government has certified me. I can train other people. I've
Okay.
done different levels of certifications. But every year I still go for training programs to improve who I am, to
Okay.
improve my techniques, so
Okay.
that I can transfer these techniques to the people I'm training. You know. So
So I'm going to
it's
interrupt you.
okay.
So you were a general manager in the hospitality. How did you now, or why did you now start your fashion house?
Okay, this happened because I lost my job.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a crisis, 2008, 2009. Excuse me, there was a financial crisis that affected where I was working. So I had to like rethink my career moves. And in the middle of rethinking my career moves, I had an inspiration. The inspiration came from, well, I'm going to say it as it is. It came from a lady preacher. She was talking one day, and she was like, God has given you a gift and you're looking for a job. God has given you something, you have something in you, and instead of using that thing to that God will not multiply, you're looking for a job outside of
Mm-hmm.
of yourself. And I was like, oh wow, yeah, I have a skill. For me, I'd never thought I was going to make fashion design a career
A
thing.
career move.
It was really like a hobby and all that. So I said, well, and I was actually in school then. I was doing um, what's it called now in French, in English, estate management course.
Wait. So basically, you just lost your word for English because a French word came
But
up.
yeah,
You're
no,
trying to translate the
I
English.
had I had the I had the degree in my mind and all in French, so I had to like translate it to English. I was doing an estate management course because I was actually really really interested in that aspect of things.
Okay.
I wanted to make things right with myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good enough to just grow in a business. I
Yeah.
like to have the certifications that cover, the experience. So I was supposed to actually go back into estate management,
Mm-hmm.
hospitality linked estate management. But when I had this message, it just told me, I just got this message in me that said, look, you have a gift, use it, and I'll be there, So it was like a turnaround thing, I just, I went back and I brought out my sewing machine. I went to all the institutions that could certify
Uh-huh.
my level of knowledge, So I got the certifications necessary and I registered my company and I started.
So
Yeah,
when you started, so you had this passion, you had this inspiration,
yeah,
and you started.
yeah.
Did everything work out like
Of course not. That would have been too easy. Of course not. Oh my gosh.
and why did you not give up when things did not work out like it was like you had hoped?
Supposed to, yeah.
How did you hang in there and not give up?
Well, one thing I can say about me is I am not one to easily give up. I
Okay.
always go to the end of everything I start. I like to tell myself, no regrets, you've given it your all. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that's my motto. Whatever thing I start, I give myself all that I need to do. I'll go acquire the knowledge, I'll ask questions around, I'll talk to people who've been in the business, and those are the things I did. Whenever I was at a stumbling block, so to say, I'll go seek for advice from
Okay.
people who are in the business. I got registered into the tailors union,
Okay.
in my city, so I could discuss with the legal advisors, I could discuss with the technical advisors, so I had help. In France, it's very easy to get help
Well,
if you
France is the
want help.
fashion capital of the world.
Oh, yeah, darling. Hey.
So
So, yeah,
before we go on to talk about your clothes and your fashion house, one thing I would like you to touch on is for people who find themselves in a situation similar to what you did, like,
yeah,
oh, you had a job loss.
yeah,
COVID-19 has happened. A lot of people have lost their jobs.
it's true.
There are no jobs to look for. So,
Yeah,
but they have a passion somewhere that is just under the bed or is
yes,
under somewhere.
yeah.
What would you say? Like that woman inspired you. What would you inspire others watching this?
Okay, so I'm going to talk to that person, person who has an idea, you have a dream, you're passionate about something and you don't know if you should start or you don't know where to start from. Today there is no excuse not to launch into entrepreneurial life.
That's true.
Why don't you have an excuse? Because you have all sorts of resources out there. These are resources that people like us, someone like me, didn't have
Mm-hmm.
um, 8 years ago. Today,
That's
you've got
true.
internet, you've got YouTube, you've got Instagram, you've got all
Social
the
media is all over the place.
social media is all over the place. People are giving information. Of course, there are all sorts of information, but you need to have the right information. But you don't have any excuse today not to go into that thing that you're passionate about. You have all the resources you need. You have ONGs that are helping people to launch their businesses. You
That's true.
have startups that want to help other startups. You have rich people who are looking for people to sponsor. You
Mm-hmm.
have governments who have put into place policies that are helping entrepreneurs. So today, really, there is no excuse not to dive into whatever it is that you want to create. you know
Okay.
don't live with regrets. I mean, what I always advise people to do is, before you start, just write down your dreams, write
Yes.
what you want to achieve, write the efforts you will need to achieve these dreams, and ask yourself if you have what it takes inside you, to furnish his efforts, and then go get help.
Okay.
And
Perfectly
that's
said.
it.
Perfectly said. And hope this inspires somebody that's watching this.
I hope this inspires somebody too.
So let's talk about your designs. So
Okay.
when you create your design, is there a woman that you have in mind? What is there a feeling that you want the person to have? What are you creating? Like, oh, we know Chanel, for example. When you hear the word Chanel, there's an
Okay.
image that comes to mind. If you hear Gianni Versace,
Yeah.
there's an image that comes to mind.
Extravaganza.
Exactly. So when you hear Tonye's fashion,
Actually,
what image are you? Which woman are you creating for?
I create for men and women. Actually,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you for that correction.
I create for both. I think the word or words that would best describe my work is power, confidence, and accepting who we are. You know.
And by the way, we're going to have images
Oh, really? Okay,
of your fashion showing
that's good.
up
Thank you.
in this video as you're talking about your fashion.
Okay, thank you. So that's what I want people to feel. That's the emotion I want to create in people. Be confident in who you are. You don't have to be slim, fat, whatever, short, whatever, whatever morphology. Is that an English word? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Whatever body type that you have, just accept who you are and show it.
Okay.
Show your power.
Okay. Show
Do
your
your
power.
queen
Stronger
thing.
it. Stronger.
So so yeah, I like people, and that's what I transfer to people who come for bespoke clothing in my shop. I talk to them. It's an emotional walkthrough when people come to see me. Like I want to find out what they're happy about the body, what they're not happy about, and then work on that. There's some psychological kind of work
So
involved in.
basically, how say the kind of clients you get? Do you get clients who contact you and oh, this is what I want, and they create it from scratch, or they kind of work with you to collaborate what they want you to create, or do they just come and look at what you already have created and then see how they can customize it to fit them? Oh,
Yeah, all those scenarios are possible. When you run a fashion house like I do, this is my concept. I think I don't like to close doors.
okay,
So I give people the opportunities to either we work on a design together. They have an idea or different ideas, and then I help them make those ideas into one new concept. or,
okay,
or, or they come in and they see clothes that I have in my ready to wear collection, and they're like, oh, I like this, but I like a different sleeve, or I like you to shorten it, or whatever. So I make those the clothes become unique.
okay.
Yeah, they become unique for the person. Yeah, and another thing I like to tell people is we're all unique. So just show
That is
your
true. All
uniqueness.
individuals for you to
Yeah,
discover your individuality.
exactly. So
So, would you say there's an Afrocentric influence in your clothing?
sure, 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 sure. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of where I come from. I'm Nigerian. I'm African. I'm an African queen, and I
African
sing
queen.
it. I sing it loudly wherever I go to. But today, I'm actually what I call a half caste because I've spent almost half of my years in France. So
Okay,
I have a European and a French influence in the clothes
okay,
I make. So my last collection is actually called Métis in French, and in English it means half caste. Uh,
okay.
yeah, that's the name of my last collection. It's like a collection that reflects the fact that I'm African, or that I have other cultures. I want to send a message across that will make us integrate the fact that we're complex beings.
Yes.
We're complex beings. We're born somewhere in one country, and then we grew up in another country, and And we have all these influences
All
in
these influences that influence us to
in
define our identity and
exactly. So,
okay.
so you have that. You have that influence in the clothes I make, and seeing as I live in France and most of my clients are French, yeah, I have lines that reflect that
Okay.
culture as well.
So with your in your website, for example, which we're going to have the website link in the description of this video. So the
Okay.
website, um, viewers can go to the website and see your collection from previous years.
Yes, they can. They can see my collections. They see all the clothes I have on online for sales.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they have a gallery where they can see the collection from last year. Collection from last year was actually called Aquaba, and Aquaba
Translation.
is the word from Ivory Coast. My husband is actually Ivory Coast, and I
Oh,
always
okay.
yeah, and it
Ivorian.
means welcome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I use
Cote d'Ivoire.
from Cote d'Ivoire. Yes, I actually decided to promote African woven fabrics in that collection. I used Ashoke. I used Kita Baule, which is a fabric that is woven in Ivory Coast. And I'm actually happy about that collection. It's really, really
Okay.
nice. And I think I'm going to make some more clothes.
And then
Uh,
you're also on social media, right?
yes, I
So
am. I
So
am.
I will have all your social media links in the description of the
Okay.
video.
On
So
Instagram and Facebook.
say someone who is not in France,
Okay.
can they become your clients?
Sure, I do international postage. I do
Okay. So
worldwide
how will the
shipping.
consultation go? They will
Well,
contact you
consultation
and then you
today,
do.
they can contact me through social media, which is what people do. They contact me through, they can contact me through WhatsApp because I've got a professional WhatsApp
So we'll
number.
put that information in there too.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Okay.
So
Sounds
yeah,
good. Sounds good.
they send me designs, and I work on the designs with them. And after that, I teach them how to take the measurements on them, and then that's it.
So
I
if I'm
think
not mistaken, I think you were featured in Marie Claire.
yeah, that's true. I was featured as one of the addresses. Don't miss, one of the addresses not to miss in France. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What year was this?
This was in 2000, very late 2018, 2018, yeah, or
Okay.
February 2019. Sorry. Yeah.
And did I see you with one of your French leaders?
Oh, yeah, yeah, you did. Yeah,
Who was
actually,
that?
it was Edouard Philippe, the French Prime Minister.
Okay, so you were with the
Yeah.
French Prime Minister. So you're not like some small fry.
Oh, it was an entrepreneurial program. I was invited by an ONG I work with,
Okay.
to the Prime Minister to participate in a special workshop on entrepreneur difficulties and suggestions and all that. Yeah,
Okay. Interesting. Applaud. Bravo. So, one question I do have for you is, can you share one major mistake you made while when you started your fashion, well, your business? One major mistake that you made,
yeah.
and one advice you will offer a young entrepreneur. So one major mistake you made when you started off, and then one advice you will offer a young entrepreneur.
Okay. Um, I think the major mistake I made was to think small
Ah,
when I started. And I know why, but I'm not going to expose all that.
okay, okay,
Yeah, I think that was a major mistake to think, oh, I'm a small company, and I don't need this, or I don't need that, you don't need advertising, I don't need to, I'm just a small business. I think that's a mistake you shouldn't make because once you begin to think small, you remain small for a long time.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Think big, think like you're a multinational, and put the processes in place that will enable you function like a multinational.
Okay.
That's the secret to success. When you start a company, imagine you're a company like Christian Dior. What do they do when they want to start a new collection? What do? They start advertising. They start talking about the collection coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You have information out there, creating awareness, and then the collection starts, and then they put in what it takes to publicity,
Okay.
to create to boost the beginning of the collection. So for the fashion industry, for example, I would say think like a multinational. For anybody
Okay.
who wants to start a business, just think big.
Think big. Think big.
Imagine the best. Take an example with a company that exists, and look at the way they function, and then
So
just
learn from
try
an
and
already
learn.
existing company. Learn,
Yes,
use them as a template to learn from.
use them as a template and learn from them.
And then
If
what advice would you give a young entrepreneur? Something that they should. Okay, so that's a mistake that you made. So I guess it's kind of you answered both with one question.
Yeah, it's connected. It's,
It's
it's
all
actually
connected.
it's all connected.
Okay.
And the last advice I'll give people is surround yourself with positive people.
Yes.
You need that
Dream
social
builders, not dream
backup.
killers.
You need people that will boost you up.
Yes.
Don't be an island because you're assertive, you're Robinson Crusoe. you need you need other people. You need other people.
Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah, you need other people to make your millions.
Yes.
So don't be an island. Be a social bird. Be a professional. Do the best that you can on whatever dream that you have. Just give yourself the means to succeed. Learn, learn,
Okay. Learn,
learn,
learn, learn.
learn, learn,
Last
and
question.
teach,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
and teach others. Learn how to transfer your DNA to other people, so
So
other people can.
basically,
Yeah,
what you learn to give because giving
exactly.
it's part of the growth process.
Increase.
It's
Yeah,
part of the increase.
yeah.
Okay. So
So
last
that's my
question
message.
for you.
Okay.
So your line, are you looking at your line expanding beyond just clothes?
Yeah, today I actually make accessories. I collaborate with accessories to make accessories that go
Okay,
with
so
my
now we're going to
collection.
put pictures of accessories on in this video while she's talking
Okay,
about this.
that's all right. My line of my fashion house has different routes, that we avenues that we walk through. I do direct sales of my clothes, but I also sell clothes from other designers because I believe
Okay.
that, yes, I believe that
So you do cross
um,
sales.
I do cross sales. I have contracts with other designers to sell and market
So
the.
see, that's multiple streams of income.
Exactly,
It's not
exactly.
saying, oh,
That's
I'm a fashion designer, I want to sell only my stuff. It's
no, no,
also
no, no.
learning, like, okay, just as I sell my stuff, I can also sell somebody else's stuff.
And
Oh,
I make clothes for other designers too. You know,
all
so
right, now you are teaching some
yeah.
stuff right now.
Yeah, I have people who design clothes and then they want me to make it for them. I do. It's not a problem. In business you can't restrict yourself to just one source of income. Otherwise you just beg off, sorry, die off.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Yeah, so I do accessories directly, for my collections, and I sell accessories that other designers do, and
Okay.
when I have fashion shows, sometimes I do collaborations with other designers. I tell them, okay, you have shoes, let's see, maybe we can use some of your shoes for the show, and I even do other types of collaboration. I collaborated with an artist, a painter, and we did three big fashion shows using her artwork and my clothes, and it was quite good.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you, Miss Tonye Aka, aka Fashion House,
Fashion.
Tonye's Fashion. It was a pleasant conversation, and there's so much nuggets that you shared regarding business in this conversation.
I hope you will help somebody out there. Thanks for inviting me, and
Thank you.
so love.
And that was my interview with Tonye Aka from Tonye Fashion. Like I said earlier, all her information will be in the description of this video. Links to her website and her social media, and even her WhatsApp number, so you can contact her, do a consultation to get her to design your outfit with Afrocentric influence. And do not hesitate to like this video, subscribe, comment, place your questions, comments, opinions, and most of all, support. We always appreciate support. And thank you once again for watching this episode of Chat Fest with Kenneth. Have a wonderful day.